I'm pleased to submit a report on the activities of the Disaster Committee over the past year. We've had a few new projects. Number one, we've launched a series of video podcasts on cutting edge disaster research. There have been 9 podcasts over the past year. They've been downloaded between 50 and 113 at minimum and maximum times. Much credit is due to Dr. Valérie Homier and Dr. Jared Bly, who were very involved in this project. The Center for Excellence in Emergency Preparedness website, which is where we keep the repository of disaster resources, has been redone, and the resource library has been redone and added to with significant new resources. This is an ongoing project. The recent conference of the World Association of Disaster and Emergency Medicine has yielded another treasure trove of content, which will be going on to the website in the next probably couple of weeks. But this is ongoing, and the library there is by now quite extensive. We had one away conference. For purposes of background, we used to run 2 Canadian conferences a year, and then prior to COVID, we had our first away conference in Israel. Obviously, COVID shifted everything to online, but we had our first face-to-face away conference again in October 2022, which was in England. The conference content included decontamination processes at the hospital level, where people attending were literally suited up in full gear, and they were decontaminating members of the public, setting up decontents and so on. The goal of all of our conferences, certainly the away conferences, is to be hands-on, and we limit the numbers to about 30 people. The other thing we covered was helicopter EMS and response to disaster sites. The British London HEMS can have a bird in the air in 4 minutes from a call coming in. So we actually went to the launch site and met with their coordinator so as to learn how they did that and to see how their system works. We reviewed mass casualty intake at St. Mary's Hospital, where they received the casualties from the Grenfell fire. Grenfell was an apartment building, multi-ethnic, lower socioeconomic status people. The whole building went up in flames, and there were a variety of issues that you wouldn't think of in planning that became issues, and we hope to learn from that. And then we prepared for mass gatherings by going to Wembley, and at the stadium walked through where what the issues were with the Euro Cup riots when they had the riots there, and what the pinch points were, command and control, and so on. Following those 4 urban days, we had 2 days in the countryside where we simulated response teams at disaster sites, and we practiced being under hostile environments. So, for example, we were at a vaccination clinic when we were stormed by anti-vaxxers, and there was gunfire and wounded and so on. And it was all a simulation that was quite high fidelity, and it was very good training to prepare us for responding to potentially hostile situations. In addition to all of that, we've launched or will be launching at this CAPE conference an online disaster course with CAPE that is everything you need to know to prepare your facility for disasters, from disaster definitions, decontamination, command and control, risk assessment, so on and so forth. This is accredited. It is through CAPE. This is the first iteration. We're going to be adding to that in the second iteration, hopefully within a year. The idea is to create a standard of care and disaster preparedness across Canada, but because it's in English, it is generalizable to other countries, and we will be marketing it to other countries as well. Finally, I've been honored to provide input to the EMpower working group on the future of emergency medicine with regards to the topics related to disaster preparedness. That's the activity of the committee this year. Thank you very much for your attention.